I really want to thank Wendy for doing this today.
Oh gosh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're all getting stir crazy, so we're looking for new and creative ways to engage the community. So thank you for being a part of that. It's awesome to have a fresh face with so much experience. I'm really looking forward to hearing what questions Mike's going to ask so that I know.
I am, me too. I'm kind of nervous.
So, and everyone, of course, knows Mike. He's started this Video Vault series for West Coast Songwriters. And we really appreciate this. It's a whole new thing for us. So on that note, I'm just going to mute my mic, let you guys do your thing, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, awesome. Poppy. See you.
Thank you, Poppy, and thank you again for everyone joining us today, and welcome to the West Coast Songwriters Video Vault. My name is Mike Annuzzi. Like Poppy said, many of you know me as the West Coast Songwriters member and TV show host for our Palo Alto chapter at the Mid-Penn Media Center. Want to give a shout out to Pete, who's also with us today, our producer. Hey, Pete, thank you for joining today. Please do follow West Coast Songwriters on all social media and stay up to date. I am on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Mike Annuzzi. And my hashtag is Mike at the Mic. So we have a very special guest joining us today in the WCS Video Vault. She is a successful musician and music industry professional who started at the very young age of 10 years old, singing the national anthem at NBA games and NFL games. That is super cool. By 18, she was on the road with her band touring the world, US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. She's headlined the Bellagio in Las Vegas, earning the Best of Las Vegas rating by the Las Vegas Review. She has shared stages with Faith Hill, Trisha Yearwood, Tim McGraw, just to name a few, with many, many more. Not only is she an incredible performer and artist, she also has her own production company. Her company, Myriad Productions, is a successful record label and music publishing company, which she has helped build the career of many outstanding artists in this rapidly evolving music industry. And without further ado, please welcome Wendy Hope. Wendy, thank you so much for joining us.
Sweet. Thank you. You're sweet. Thanks, Mike. That was quite the intro. Now I'm just gonna. That was it. Bye. See you guys later. That was good.
Yes. Wow. We're really excited to have you, and definitely lucky to have somebody with such a diverse background in the music industry. So let's go back to the start. You went from performing the national anthem in front of huge audiences to touring the world to opening up for major artists. How cool is that?
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I have no complaints. It all worked out exactly. I mean, I didn't actually even plan any of it. It just kind of all happened. So, but it was just the way that it all happened was interesting itself. But yeah, I loved it. It was an incredible time. I would not change anything about it.
I'm sure that performing on stages on that capacity really shaped you from the start. So what was that journey like?
Which part? Like singing with the opening for other artists, or touring on my own, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you started performing on major stages like right at the beginning. So you must have like gained some confidence, encouragement from big groups, and then going on to just continuing that level of performance.
I mean, my choir teacher in high school kind of connected us our senior year to this guy, David Green. He choreographed for this group called Young Americans, and they were based out of Los Angeles. Remember that group?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he was a part of that, and he came to our school our senior year. And honestly, I kind of my mom was a singer. She majored in music at the University of Washington, and I just never thought I wanted to sing or do anything about that, because who wants to be like their mom, right? You're always like, I don't want to do what she's doing. And so, and it just kind of happened. It just evolved. Like my mom always had me play piano, guitar, all that. But I just did it because it was kind of like, to be honest, it was always like, it's an easy A, right? So I'm just going to do it in school. And then my choir director kind of handpicked me one day and said, I want you to sing. And I thought, well, I don't sing. I'm not the singer. And then everything just kind of snowballed from that point. And then when David Green came to I'm from Gig Harbor, Washington, which is it used to be a fishing village back in the day. And so he came, and then everything just kind of happened. And then it was from him, it led to this Steve Cox, who's now my business partner at Myriad. But he represented Colin Ray, who we represent now as well. And I mean, just everything just kind of snowballed. It was just like one of those things, and it was just awesome. And looking back now, the way it all happened was super cool and a blessing. I don't think you couldn't have planned it. You know what I mean? It could never have been like a scheduled plan. Everything just happened.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what does it feel like to perform on a stage on that level?
Gosh, it was exciting and fun, and just the rush you get from it, you know what I mean? And I had the worst stage fright in the entire world, even to this day. Like, I have the worst stage fright until I get on stage. And the second I get on stage, it's like it all kind of goes away, because just all the excitement and the band and the crowds, and I opened for Garth Brooks and sang backup with him with Trisha Yearwood before Trisha Yearwood was Trisha Yearwood, when she was just a backup singer for Garth, and now she's his wife, after another whatever. But I mean, that's just it's just a rush. It's an adrenaline rush that I can't even explain. It's just fun and it's exciting, especially if it's your passion. And I didn't realize it was my passion until I got thrown into it. You know what I mean? And then it was just like, it's all I lived for. It was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that you have a lot of really great tour stories. Is there any moment that stands out to you?
I mean,
oh gosh. Special?
Well, I mean, aside from like actually sitting down and actually being able to talk to Garth Brooks and having like a conversation with him, and he's not Garth Brooks, he's actually like a mentor. Or the Charlie Daniels is one of my favorites, because he was like one of the first people that just treated me like an equal. And it was really cool for me. And Faith Hill, I mean, she got me drinking Purple Hooters, and I was like, 21 years old. She was like, have a Purple Hooter. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but okay, you're drinking it, so I want to drink it, kind of thing. So, I mean, all that, just that kind of thing is just amazing. And these are just really good people. I mean, these are really country music, for all, there's just a lot of really good people in that industry. There's a lot of people in all industries, but I mean, for me personally, I've met some really quality, great human beings in that industry, which has been amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I'm actually rocking a little country music hat from a friend of mine too, a company that I love as well. And we do in West Coast Songwriters have a lot of members and a lot of businesses that join us from Nashville also.
Right.
So yeah, we do have that big connection here as well. So can I ask you, I guess, Nashville coming up in the story then, everybody in Nashville is a musician, everybody is a songwriter. Can you tell us a little bit about your songwriting, or any methods, or how do you go about writing something?
Well, for me, I'm more of a lyricist. Like I can sit down and write, but for me, it has to be about something. I'm not talented enough for you to say, hey, Wendy, write a song about, that blanket over there, and have me come up with some amazing song about it. Some people are so gifted in that department that I love writing with those types of people, because I don't have that talent. I'm more, if my heart's broken or I'm having a really great, something happens, I can write about it and I can put it down in words. But I can't just come up with something just spur the moment. Like maybe you can, maybe, one of the other, somebody else on here can. I'm not talented in that way. But I am if I have to feel it. So everything that I write is something that I'm actually going through or feeling about something. It's actually it's very personal for me. It's not just, I can't just write about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's fun for me. I don't write very well. I mean, I do, like, I'll write lyrics, and then I usually will sit down with someone, and then they can like put it to music, and then they'll always put their spin on it, because sometimes when you're writing like really personal, sometimes it doesn't really, you got to have somebody else for me personally, I have to have somebody else put their input on it as well.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that. Everybody has their own style of putting that story together, and some people take it a lot more personally. I've had a lot of advice from others that say disconnect yourself from the story completely.
See, I can't do that. Mine has to be about my story, and so everything I write is super personal for me. So, and everything I sing is super personal for me.
Wow. So with that being said, I guess, do you have any specific tips for songwriters, maybe some practices or things that songwriters need to do to make sure they're set up for success, whether it's writing or getting their image down or showcasing themselves in a certain light?
Well, I mean, I just think that people have to stay true to who they are. You have to stay true to your own, like who you are as an artist, as a person, as a singer, as a songwriter. I see a lot of times we'll have people come in and they'll say, oh, will you represent us? And, you know, and we sit down with them, but they don't really know who they want to be or what they want to do. They want to be a Janis Joplin, or they want to be a Alicia Keys, or they want to be, it's like, no, just be you. Show us what you have. And if you're true to yourself and you're true to your own like being and your own talent, and not trying to be, because there's a million great artists. And I think what separates is when it's just you, like you and the raw you know what I mean? Because that's what, there's a million imitators. Like you can be anybody. I can sound like Faith if I want to, but there is Faith. Faith is awesome. You know what I mean? So I just want to be Wendy. And I think you just have to stay true to who you are.
And we absolutely love you for that. We love having you as you. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I've definitely become a fan over the last several months. Since I heard your name the first time, I found you on all the internets, all the links. So definitely at some point, make sure that all those links are shared with everyone. So everyone who hasn't heard your music from West Coast Songwriters will be able to have that opportunity as well. So do you have anything in the works coming up that you could share with us as far as your performance career?
As far as mine, oh my gosh. Now, so, I mean, I've done some things for some movies and stuff like that, some soundtracks and that kind of thing. For me personally now, I've done I'm really happy with where I'm at. And my joy now and my excitement and my kind of what I'm like kind of living for at the moment is my company. And I have some artists that are so good and I'm so excited about. And I like to sit back and I like to push them forward and watch them succeed in everything that they want to do. I was performing at the Bellagio and got pregnant with twins and thought I wanted to go back to work. And then I thought, oh gosh, after I had the girls, then I really enjoyed being a mom. And so I couldn't figure out how to do both. And that's why we started Myriad. And now I still do some things. I'm still singing. I still do the National Anthem every once in a while at some games. I'm still writing. I'm still, movie soundtracks, little things behind the scenes. But my thing now is I'm showcasing my artists that we have now with Myriad. And that's what's exciting for me. I have a few artists right now that are just getting ready to release some singles and they're doing a great job. And I'm just super excited about their talent and what they're doing and their futures.
Well, just overall, can you tell us exactly what Myriad Productions is?
Well, yeah, we started out as a music publishing company, and we have writers that write for us, and we pitch the songs to the Luke Bryans and the Carrie Underwoods. We pitch songs to everybody. We sell their songs. Then it became, as it was kind of going along, it became people coming to us and saying, well, will you manage us? Will you do this? And we do that. And my business partner is really experienced in managing. I don't have the time to put into like just being a manager, and because we have so many other things going on. And so he kind of does the manager side, and we started becoming artist development, and we're getting artist development deals for people and with record labels, Sony, just different labels. And then it became, gosh, why don't you start your own record label? Because everybody, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, if we have this talent, why aren't we utilizing this talent? And there's so much to do on social media, iTunes, Spotify, all of that. And so we just started doing it. That's kind of how it all happened. And so we work with different record labels for distribution and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what we're doing now, which is fun and exciting. And it's fun for me to sit back and watch other people do what I was lucky enough to do. Now we're trying, and now obviously with the quarantine and everything, it's kind of put everything on hold because my artists aren't, as you, just like you're not performing any like right now. And everybody's kind of like, well, when are we going to perform again? And that's the $1 million question we'd all like to know.
I mean, I have been definitely witnessing and realizing how supportive you are with the artists that you have in your network. And I see how hard that you're working to showcase the talent of all these artists. I've heard some of the artists that are on Myriad Productions, and especially I became a really big fan of Dakota Green.
I love him. Don't you love Dakota?
I
Dakota
love
is
him.
awesome. I love him.
I love his voice. I love his songwriting. It's awesome. But would you mind telling us about maybe some of the artists that you have, maybe some people that we should keep on our radar, who to watch or what's going on with some of your artists?
Well, I mean, obviously we have Colin Ray, who's a country, has over 20 hits songs, and he's coming out with a new Americana album right now that we're doing with him, which is really great. So keep an eye out for that. Peyton Bonner, she's awesome. She's out of Texas. She moved to Nashville. She's unfortunately back in Texas right now because of the quarantine, but she'll be back in Nashville. She's got some songs out. You'll love her. She's more of a pop. She's more pop than she is country. So she's great. And of course, Dakota is like, Dakota has my heart. They all do, but there's just something about Dakota that's just so real and pure. As you know, you've heard his music. I mean, Dakota writes all of his own stuff, and he's just and he's just a really soulful, deep person. He's really cool. And then there's Matt Marinchak. I mean, there's just every artist that we have, which they can go on the website and check out. But I mean, every artist that we have is just so good at what they do in their area. Do you know what I mean? Like Absolutely. Peyton writes, she sings, Peyton's just, they're all just cool. They're just super cool people.
It seems like a lot of the artists that you have also have experience in other aspects of the music industry, not just being a performer or artist or whatever, but I think I saw something on Dakota, like I looked up his website, and I think he was on tour as a maybe tech or something.
He's done he's done all that kind of, Dakota will do anything. If you just say hey, he'll do anything. He just wants to be in the music industry, and he just wants to be a part of it, and he wants to learn. And Peyton's the same way. Matt Marinchak's the same way. Matt performs like every single night, basically. We have Sergio. He's a Chilean artist that we have who's so cool. He's so awesome. He's in Chile, and he's just really cool. There's just but they're all doing as much as they possibly can in the industry to just learn every aspect of it.
I think that's one of the cool things about the modern music industry. Like, you kind of have to get your hands on a little bit of everything, and step out of your comfort zone and just get comfortable and learn as fast as you can, but also be able to deliver. And so I guess that being said, do you have any, are you in Myriad Productions looking for any artists to bring onto your roster? Or if so, what kind of things do you look for in an artist?
Well, again, we started out as just a publishing company, so we were just strictly looking for writers back then. That as years ago. Now, we're doing artist development. We're doing not a record label. So I'm not really looking for. It's funny because you can't really say what am I looking for, because I don't really know what I'm looking for. It's just talent, right? So if you're talented, it doesn't really. It's just talent. I'm not necessarily just looking for singers either. Because like one of our artists plays guitar for Miranda Lambert, and has played guitar for her since the beginning of Miranda's career. So there's just so many different areas in the music industry that we use. So I'm not really looking for any specific like our Chilean artist. You would never have thought, a Nashville company now has a Chilean Latin artist on the books, but we do, and he's awesome, and his career is booming in Chile, and it's great, and we're bringing him to the States, and so just talent. We're just looking for great talent.
Yeah, definitely one of the cool things about West Coast Songwriters in particular is there's a lot of diverse talent in this organization in particular. I know I've spoken with you about this, but we have everyone from the absolute beginner to top number one selling artists or songwriters, or and that's what makes for us West Coast Songwriters so cool. And for your input to tie that stuff all together, and for artists to have somebody like you to communicate with, that you've, like I said, you've had a successful artist career, you have a successful business in music as well, and it's just amazing to see all that you're doing and bringing your network all together just like this. So thank you for bringing this into West Coast Songwriters.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Do you have any I guess I only have a couple questions left for you before we open it up to a Q&A from some of the members who have joined us today. But what is your guilty pleasure playlist?
Oh, my guilty pleasure playlist? Oh man, that's hard for me. You were like putting me on the spot because obviously you're totally putting me on the spot because I personally like all genres of music. So you can't just say, oh, I love country. Country's my heart for sure. But I love everything. So, I mean, and I have twin daughters that are totally into music. And right now they're freaking out. I'm actually having a pretend stagecoach at my house tomorrow with a couple of their friends because this is stagecoach weekend. And then last 2 weekends were Coachella. So we're all just like, I mean, we go to Coachella, we go to stagecoach. So this is a big, huge bummer for us. So we're like, okay. I mean, but if I had to pick, I mean, I don't know. You're putting me on the spot because I should be saying all my artists. I have all my artists on a playlist. No, I like everything. I mean, I can't even say one thing. I can't give you one playlist. That's putting me on the spot. That's not fair.
Degrees, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. What do we got here?
Oh no! I mean, if you had to say, I mean, NSYNC. No. Honestly, I gotta tell you, like, I love Bonnie Raitt, Adele. Those two, like, female artists are like. I mean, Bonnie Raitt. I'm sorry, she's ridiculous. I love her. And Adele. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, Adele sings her ass off. Excuse me, like she's awesome. But I mean, I don't know. I like everyone. There's so many artists that I love. I mean, I like Kanye. I mean, I like, you know what I mean? It's like, I can go the whole spectrum. You can give me like each, I don't know. I can think Paul McCartney, Beatles. I'll tell you my favorite band of all time, the Eagles. If I had to name one artist, one Eagles is that's my group right there.
That would definitely be a good choice. I think you get a little taste of everything with them. What I think I just heard, so Michael Jackson, Thriller was the number one most sold album of all time around the world. The Eagles' Greatest Hits album is the number one most sold album in the US right now. I love my trivia stuff, and I mean, there's a testament to that. As to why. So that's awesome. I'm so glad to know that. I definitely need to listen up to more Eagles stuff, but
yeah, you need to. What the heck? Eagles are, and then Ben Skills sings with them now, and then Deacon Fry took over his dad's spot on they're so good. They were supposed to be in LA this last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, and I was supposed to be there too, but again, quarantine is really messing me up.
I'm sure, but thank you for coming in today to making us feel like something special and something we've been looking forward to this. And I know a lot of people that will be listening to this after will also have that opportunity to feel alive again and feel that music and inspiration that you've sparked for us. So
thank you.
At this point, I would love to open up for some Q&A or comments from our members. So when you enter into the conversation, any of the members entering into the conversation, please include your name and role in the music industry. I'm sorry, Poppy, I think I just saw you checking in.
I have questions. It was so great hearing all your questions for Wendy, but of course I was over here jotting down things that I'd like to ask. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
You and I are the only women in this room here on Zoom.
Perfect. Okay.
So the first one was was there ever a moment in your path that you had doubts? And if so, what kept you going?
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure, because you have the door closed on you too. I mean, I don't mean to, when I said I was like just lucky and things were snowballing, we had a lot of no's, and I mean, it's hard because as many people that like you, there's just as many people that don't like you, right? So it's like, no matter, people have different preferences of sounds, of style. And so, and I surrounded myself with really, really, really positive people. And so every time I would get down and think, okay, that's it, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, this is too hard, I want to go home. And I'm a girl, like I would cry my eyes out, I'm not afraid, like I would cry and just like, I don't want to do this anymore, it's too hard, and people are mean. And I had, my manager was really, really, really supportive. My business partner now, I've known since I was 20 years old, and he was so supportive. And so, but not fake supportive. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were just like, oh, Wendy, you're great, and like petting me. Like they would tell me like, no, you actually had a really bad night and that was bad. Like I had to take criticism, and I had to learn that criticism isn't always bad. It's, you know, constructive criticism is actually really good, and you have to learn to take it in that way and not take it like I suck, I'm horrible, everybody hates me. You know what I mean? And so for me, I surrounded myself with positive people. I didn't, the negative stuff, I'd learned to just kind of block out and go, okay, I need to focus on what I know I'm good at, because there are a lot of things that I'm not good at, and I know that. Like I told you earlier, like I can't just write a song. I'm not that talented. So I just learned to like accept the no's and turn them into a positive, like working harder. And I took a lot of advice from a lot of people. Like I really picked people's brains and wanted bits and pieces of everybody's knowledge, because I felt like that was helping me become better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing all that. And then the other piece for me is I love that you've transitioned into this being behind the artist and being in that support role and being excited about it after having had this great career. As a woman in the industry, how has that changed over the span of your career and the different roles that you've played?
Well, I think for me, you know, it's hard because I think honestly, I have to say is when I had my daughters is when it actually changed for me, because, you know, you go through, when I was doing my career, it's like I was the one kind of in charge, even though I had a manager and an agent and all that. Like, you know, when you're this artist, you're kind of in charge of everything, right? You're the band, everything. And I was the head of I was the headliner. You know, they were all behind, kind of a thing. Not that I ever got in that space in my head, but when I had my daughters, I kind of like, okay. And I don't want to say I was ever selfish, because that wasn't it at all. And but I always got to kind of make the decisions. And then when I had my daughters, I kind of went like, okay, I took a back seat a little bit to them, which helped me take a back seat to my career, which helped me take a back seat kind of in life, and kind of go, okay, being a woman in this industry is actually easier now, I think, than it was before, like maybe way back when. But gosh, that's a hard question for me too. I think that you know, being a woman in this industry has made me stronger for sure. It's actually kind of goes along with what I said before, as far as having to just learn, just listen. I don't personally get into like that, oh, I'm a girl and people are being mean to me kind of a thing. I just feel like I'm just as strong as the guy next to me, and I can do this. I stand up and I'm pretty good authority wise, you know what I mean? Like I take criticism, but I can give criticism, and I stand up for myself. And I think that as a woman in this industry, you have to stand up for yourself, and you can't get run over by guys, because every industry, it started out as kind of a guy thing, right? Like, I mean, every industry, men kind of ruled, you know, we had babies and then everything evolved. And now women are in this position of you know, I'm a vice president of a great company, and I'm proud of that.
And
So,
you
it takes
still get
work.
to be a mom. You didn't have to choose one or the other, even though you did.
No,
You take a step back, but then you get to step into it in a different way. So.
step back forward. Yeah, but I just learned how to, like, okay, now it's my turn to step back. Now I know when to step back, and I know when to come forward. You know what I mean? Like, you learn your places in life, and you can't just go in and be like, okay, everybody listen to me now, because that's not going to happen. So you have to kind of learn like your place and then go through that door in your time.
Exactly. Well, it's very familiar, so I like hearing it from your perspective as well. It's same for all moms. I've got my teenagers in the house, no Netflix right now. Take a break from it, kind of thing. So anyway,
no, sure.
I can open it up to the members now, and like Mike was saying, we'll just go one at a time. Each person can ask a question, introduce yourself and how you're associated with West Coast Songwriters. And I see Pete Sommer right here. He's the vice president of our board. I'm going to unmute Pete, and he can ask you a question if you don't mind.
Hi, Pete. Of course.
Hi, Wendy. How are you today?
I'm good, Pete. How are you?
Good. I hear it's pretty warm in Palm Springs.
Ooh, it's a warm one today. Yeah. I think it's the first hot day.
The only time I went there was I had a record store in Southern California, and we sold at the swap meet in Palm Springs. That started at like 9 o'clock at night, I think, and went late. So it was a lot cooler than what you're going through right now. But God, thank you so much for doing this, and Mike, thank you for the interview. Just some thoughts. What are your thoughts on what artists can do right now during this pandemic and this isolation? Do you have anything that you could share with us from your perspective and for what you've seen in your artists?
Yeah, I mean, what I've been talking to my artists about is we have writing. Of course, this is a great time to sit down and tap into your creative self and write. We've done a lot of online concerts, which have been great because I think it's good for the artist and I think it's good for their fans as well. So we've been doing a lot of that. I mean, for me personally, I've been telling my writers and my artists to just work on their skill. I mean, practice, write. If you're a guitar player, just practice on your skill. That's all you can really do right now. And just keep networking. I mean, my artist Peyton just, she had a song that she finished and she decided let's just get it out there. So we released it on Spotify, and Dakota, Mike, the same thing. We just released another song of Dakota's. I mean, we're just trying to keep the ball rolling and have them not get discouraged in this pandemic.
Right. Yeah. Momentum is something you want to keep moving forward.
You got to move forward. If you stop, then it kind of loses all momentum. So even though the momentum has stopped to some degree, you can't really let it stop you because there's still so much you can do. I mean, there's so much. I mean, this is a perfect time to write down. And even if you're like me and you can't really write about me, again, I just can't just write.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can kind of tap into your creative side and find things to write about.
Right. Yeah. It's a different time, and I really liked what you were talking about with Dakota, is thinking outside the box and getting involved with other aspects of the music industry. When I started back in the Stone Age, it was in LA, and you had to be a star or nothing, and I didn't think outside the box, and hence I went into retail sales, Silicon Valley, big companies and such, and put music on hold for 30 years. And that was just stupid. Now I'm really enjoying myself and doing this with the work I do for West Coast Songwriters, producing the TV show in Palo Alto, and Mike's a great host there. And it's just really think outside the box, learn other aspects of the industry, like you said. So I totally agree, and I like the fact that you brought that up, and Dakota's a prime example of that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I think I'll leave it to move it on to Gary to see if he has some questions. Thank you so much, Wendy.
Thanks, Pete.
Hello, and hi, Wendy. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I'm a songwriter up in Northern California, around the Bay Area. By the way, thanks, Mike, for putting this together, and thanks, Poppy. Appreciate you guys. Well done. These are so cool. You had mentioned, Wendy, that you had reached out to a lot of people, asked a lot of questions, and I kind of feel that I do a lot of the same things. So I have a question for you along those lines. What's the best piece of advice you've received regarding your music career?
Probably from Faith Hill over those purple Hooters, like I was telling you about. We were sitting there one day, and she had really bad nodules on her vocal cords. I don't know if you guys remember way back when, but she didn't talk she had that surgery way back in her career when she was with Scott Hendricks. And I used to get that because we used to sing. I mean, anybody that's on the road knows that you sing nonstop. And when I was performing in Vegas, we had 3 shows a night, and I was just always hoarse, and I was thinking that I could not do this. And she gave me really good advice as far as what's important, what's not important. If singing was what was my passion was, then stay off, first, don't drink. I couldn't drink because drinking would dry out my vocal cords. So she kind of just gave me a bunch of pointers, and then who to trust, who not to trust. Don't just be an open book and just say everybody, because a lot of people don't have your best interest at heart. So she was actually, I have to say, the one person that actually kind of took me aside and kind of took me under her wing, and was really, really, really just kind of groomed me, if you will, and I'd get a little bit, because I sang backup for her for a long time. And so I'd get a little sidetracked and go, but this person thinks that I'm going to be this. And she'd be like, Wendy, this person is not, this is not where you want to be. And so she really kind of kept me a little bit sheltered, which I think was really good for me. I mean, so I'd have to say she probably gave me the best advice overall. There wasn't one certain thing she did. There was just a combination of a lot of things that she did.
Great. Another question, if it's okay, guys and gals, all right? Okay. So my internet connection dropped out for a while, so I didn't catch everything that you said earlier on. I'm sorry about that. And if you already covered this. I apologize in advance, but are you looking for any songs for any of your artists right now from outside?
Yes, always. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We're always looking for songs, and we're always looking for songs, looking for songwriters. And I'm always pitching songs too. I mean, if I have some writers that don't necessarily write for me, but they're really great writers, and they'll say, what do you think about this song? Like Toby Keith, we gave a song to Toby Keith about a month ago that he's going to put on his next album. And this writer doesn't write for us, and it was just a great song. And I thought, this sounds just like Toby, and Toby would love it, and he did. And now it's going to go on his album. So
first of all, I'll say congratulations. Then I'll say, how do I get songs to you?
Well, on our website, myriad-pro.com, you can actually submit them, or you can. Mike has my email. You can just email me directly, wendy@myriad-pro.com. Just email. I mean, personally, just email them to me. It's easier that way, and great. I love it. Email me. Bring them. I love it. More songs, the better. Especially during this time. I have nothing but time.
Are you looking for songs more for female artists or male, or does it matter?
Both.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks for being here, Gary. And I'm going to turn it over to Mike to close it out. But before I turn it over to him, I just want to thank you again. Really wonderful hearing your story. And yeah, like I said, being another woman in the music industry and hearing your experiences and how you've dealt with it is invaluable. So thank you. And
thank you.
Yeah, Wendy, definitely. Thank you so much. I know that not only the group that was joining us today, but we have a lot of members in West Coast Songwriters who are going to benefit from this. And when we share this, I know a lot of people are going to listen in, and really, really grateful for you taking your time to be with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was a great addition to bringing this conversation to West Coast Songwriters. We can't wait to see more of you. So
thank you. I can't wait to see more of you. Send me some of your songs.
Oh, definitely will do, Wendy. Thank you so much. And everybody, Wendy, round of applause for you. If anyone that is joining us or listening to us, if you have any ideas for any upcoming shows for the Video Vault, please do send comments our way, and we will see you at the next one. Everyone, take care. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike. See you guys.
Bye,
Poppy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.